touched on it a little bit earlier. You said you liked futures over stocks because of all the homework involved. How I guess kind of how has your trading evolved over the 14 years? You're just saying that you used to have to adapt a lot differently than you do now, and it sounds
Well,
like you've
so
changed
there's
markets.
yeah, so I always started with futures. So I
Okay.
I find that to be as an advantage. I started on the Russell 2000, and I believe in 2006 maybe is when they moved the Russell 2000 future to the ICE, the new exchange. And from there I switched to the S&P 500, and from there I've been doing primarily the S&P 500, but I also trade, gold, silver, natural gas, gasoline, oil, all that stuff. So one of the things that I found over time is, and I received a lot of flack online when I did a video called Why Forex is a Scam, because people do make money with Forex. But for most people, I think that we need to try to make things as simple as possible in order to learn, because trading is a lot about ourselves kind of looking in the mirror and changing our own psychology and our behaviors than just learning technical analysis. So obviously we have fundamental and technical. I'm sure everybody watching this is mostly doing technical. But what I find with stocks is that you can't trade the same stock every day for the most part, right? You have to literally find the one that's moving. Apple, there's a few that move a lot, but for the most part, every trader that I've met that trades stocks has to do homework to find the right stock to trade. And they literally have to have, the typical kind of 20 screens in front of them with 20 charts to be able to find, the right opportunity. And I've just found that to be stressful. Because like I said in the beginning, I joke around, but I'm serious when I say this. I'm lazy. I don't want to sit here all day to trade. Same thing with Forex, right? Forex, people normally have the 7 or 8 different currency pairs open at the same time to see, which one's moving better or the right trade setup. So for me, in order to not only teach people how to trade, but also to be successful on my own, I need to have a razor thin focus, and I need to focus on what's important, which is obviously the price action. So stocks, obviously, for me, it's a little bit too complicated, a little bit too much work, even though I do invest in stocks now, but it's really kind of more fundamental long term. And Forex, people don't realize, well, full disclosure, you can make money with Forex. The majority of people, if 1 out of 10 day traders lose money in general, right? They've done university studies. I would say that 1 out of 100 or 1 out of 1,000 make money in Forex, because the market's just so manipulated. Even the institutions like the Bank of England, central banks from countries are involved in this kind of manipulation. And for us as guys who are opening up accounts with $500 and $1,000, for us to be as ignorant and naive to believe that we're going to take money from those guys, because trading is a zero-sum game, right? The competition is just it's lopsided. So futures to me represents a more level playing field, because there aren't people like institutions like the Central Bank of England, for example, that's manipulating the price, but everything's more on a level playing field. So it's a lot easier to be able to not only learn how to trade, but also make money with futures. And obviously it's higher leveraged, right? Even though you have margin, so to speak, on stocks and Forex where you can leverage yourself up, the futures market is already, the leverage is built into the market itself. So with stocks or Forex, when it goes up $1, you only make $1, unless you borrow money and you leverage yourself with margin. Whereas in the futures market, the margin is already built in. So you literally can choose a market in futures where you can make anywhere between $50 to $5,000 per dollar that the market goes up. So that's primarily one of the reasons why I prefer futures, because it's much easier to learn. It's much simpler. If you look at my charts, it's literally just one chart, simple, clean, right? You wake up, do a quick 5-minute analysis. You get in your trades, you get out, you finish in an hour or two. I have guys who finish in 10 or 15 minutes normally on average, and that's it. You're done. So it kind of fits my mentality of that quality of life, where I don't want to sit here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon looking for stocks to trade, doing the screener with volume and things like that. And that's primarily the reason why. It's fixed, it's easy, it's simple, and it allows me to kind of get in and get out, so I can do what I want to do with it. Just where play with my puppy or play with your kid, whatever people want to do with their time.
All right,
That was a really long answer. I hope I pitched futures to everybody.
you've got me sold. I sounds like I need to go take a look at that. I've been primarily in the equity side of things, my whole trading career. So it sounds like I might have to do a little research into that side.
Now, I'll share something with you. When I was looking for traders to fund, I found a group of traders in Calgary. It's with one of the traders that I did some trading with, but they operated out of a fund in Calgary, and each guy operated a $1 million fund, and they were able to make more money with just $25,000 of my money in a futures account than $1 million stock account. And that actually happened because, I stole a few of these guys to be able to trade for me. So it's just kind of relative. Until you get to the point where you're trading millions of dollars, that's the only time I would say, well, okay, Forex and stocks obviously have much higher amount of leverage, even though there's a gentleman, I won't mention his name, but he literally trades a lot of oil money and the Queen's money as well in the futures market. So it is, I don't want people to think that it isn't scalable, because it is, but obviously when you get to the point where you're operating millions upon millions of dollars, and that's the point that I would kind of recommend people say, well, okay, look at some stocks, or if you're going to trade technicals, you could do ETFs as well, whatever the case may be.
All right. So I guess kind of what's the flip side of that? Like you say that there's literally no no preparation really that you're doing, but I'm sure you're still keeping an eye on like economic events.
It's risky, right? So because it's higher leverage and you can make a lot more money, you can lose a lot more money at the same time. So, let's kind of do the disclosure thing. Let's not paint the just it's all roses. Day trading is awesome. It takes work, right? And obviously if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get your shirt handed to you. So that's one of the downsides that people have to understand when it comes, I would say, just to trading in general. One of the